PFF is running one of their biggest sales ever. 40% off a PFF Plus subscription right now using the promo code BLACKFRIDAY. That means that you get everything fully unlocked. You get the grades, you get the stats, you get all the fantasy advice, the betting advice, which our new player prop tool is available on web as well to make you a smarter, better. You've got all of the draft analysis, the free agency analysis, all of that great stuff. Subscribe.pff.com to get 40% off a year-long PFF Plus subscription. Get it now. Talk about the Bears and the Vikings. Chicago wins this one 19-17. Of course, Caleb Williams gets all the credit for a game-winning drive, right?
Yeah, who's even heard of Devin Duvernay, you know?
Shout out to Devin Duvernay, who had a great kick return to set up the Chicago Bears to kick a field goal and win this game in the end. Boy, it was tight down the end. You know, I wasn't sure we were going to get a good ending here from this game.
That's just a normal Bears game.
It's a normal J.J. McCarthy game at this point.
That too.
Which we're going to talk about here in a second. But top 5 graded players that we have for the Chicago Bears. Tight end Colston Loveland, top of the list with an 80.0. And then right behind him, well, tight end offense, baby. Cole Kmet, 79.7. Center Drew Dahlman with a 72.8. Cornerback Tyreek Stevenson, a 72.3. And then safety Kevin Byard with a 71.8. Caleb Williams in this game, a 66.4. So just about above average. Minnesota side of things, offensive guard Will Fry, 77.8. Center Blake Brendel with a 76.8, Offensive guard Donovan Jackson is 73.7. Cornerback Isaiah Rodgers is 73.3. And then edge rusher Dallas Turner with a 72.1. McCarthy in this one. Some good, some regrets. 52.9 was his execution grade there. What do we think, Dalton?
Just real quick on the Bears. You mentioned that, just always in these wild and wacky games. Look at their last 6 wins, all right? 1 point. They beat the Saints by 12, all right? 5 points in that wild game with the Bengals. Mm-hmm. 4 points, 2 points. I mean,
gotta win them close.
That's the NFL. There's a very small margin of error, and right now the Bears are coming out on the right side of it. We see this every year, right? You see it with Kansas City. We're going to talk about later. They're 0-5 now in one-score games. The Bears are winning these one-score games. But first and foremost, the Vikings. It's something we talked about kind of in the inverse order here, where against everybody else they play well in the first quarter and then it drops off. Well, against the Bears, apparently, it waits till the fourth quarter, but the first 3 quarters are the issue here. 58.9 offensive grade for Minnesota as a team in the first 3 quarters, 4 yards per play, only 3 explosive plays in the first 3 quarters for this team. McCarthy 2 for 12 on 10-plus yard passes, and I think it's just this offense right now. Offensive line is back mostly healthy, right? The run game comes in spurts, but I don't think it's as consistent as Kevin O'Connell wants it to be, and McCarthy's lack of accuracy is a huge issue, right? I mean, he's just even a lot of the easy throws. It's a problem. And I just think right now you have this where Sam Darnold last year was working his way in as a full-time starter for the first time in a long time, right? But he was a veteran and he understood and I think Kevin O'Connell understood what he wanted out of the offense. I watch them call plays right now, and it doesn't look like they can rely on any sort of foundation for this offense. Is it the run game? Well, the backs haven't been great, and the line's been a little banged up. Is it the passing game? Well, McCarthy's just not making enough throws for the passing game to be leaned on heavily. So I think you look at this Vikings offense, and all year that's the theme for various different reasons, is they just have a hard time putting 60 minutes of consistent offense together. That was the case. Both of these Bears games offensively look exactly the same for them. Terrible for 3 quarters. Try to get a jolt in the fourth quarter. You get in a game like that. Once it worked in week 1. Once it didn't here because of the special teams and the Bears making just one more play like you mentioned. But this is a problem. It's just too inconsistent for Minnesota offensively.
If there were 12 drives in this game for the Minnesota Vikings on offense. If you look at if you look at the last drive, the 12th drive, McCarthy had an 85.8 passing grade. It's awesome. In the clutch, played extremely well. Love to see it. Touchdown at the end. Long touchdown drive at the end, right? If you look at the first 11 drives, he had a 36.9 passing grade. I mean, it was just, you can't win with it. You cannot win when it is that night and day for you. You love that he shows up on that final drive. It's got to be so much better on those first 11 drives. He had a 40% uncatchable and accurate pass rate, which I didn't look at this from a season-wide scope, but I've looked this up in previous weeks to know and be able to say with confidence he is one of the top 5 highest uncatchable inaccurate passers in the NFL. Again, it's the inconsistencies that he plays with. And, as I was watching all of McCarthy's throws this morning, I thought about how, are you a golfer, Dalton?
Nope.
At all? Okay. So I'm going to talk to all the people who are golfers out there, because anybody who's a golfer understands this. My dad is the one who taught me how to play golf. And once I started to get the basic fundamentals of a swing down, of course, what do you want? You want to put a driver in your hand. You smash the ball as far as you possibly can. And of course, when you do that, you grip the club a little bit tighter. The follow back, you're bringing the club back way too far. You're overextending, but you are just trying to put every single muscle that you can into that drive because you want to hit it as far as you can. So you're speeding up the process. You're not relaxed. You're tense because you just want to hit it as far as you possibly can. And I remember my dad telling me, Trev, take a step back, swing it 60% power, 60% speed. And I go, okay. And I would do it. And there you go. I'd hit it straight. And he'd go, all right, ramp it up to 70. All right, a little bit faster. I'd still hit it straight. And he goes, all right, do that for 80. Do it for 80. Okay, it's going a little bit further. It's going a little bit faster. But I'm still very much in control. And he goes, that's as much as you should go. Don't go more than that. Don't go 85. Don't go 90. Don't go 100. Don't go 110. Don't go 120, right? Don't try to hit the crap out of the ball. Don't try to be tense. Don't try to be fast. Just try to be controlled. And when I watched J.J. McCarthy this past week, I felt like he was a golfer that was trying to hit the crap out of the ball. Because you watch his process, you watch his lower body mechanics, you watch everything that has to do with his throwing motion. He is trying to go so fast, and he is trying to throw that ball so fast that the rest of it, the whole rest of the process in his throwing motion, from his feet all the way to his follow-through, is fast. And when it's too fast, that's when it gets erratic. That's when it gets inconsistent, and that's when you see the inaccuracy show up. So to me, that's what I look at when I see J.J. McCarthy. He is tense. He is trying to be so fast, and he's trying to, for some reason, to put his whole body into these throws to just throw it as fast as he can every single time. And it's just not going to work at the NFL level because you're not going to be as accurate as you need to be. So I feel like he is a golfer that just needs to slow it down a little bit. And you know what? That's boring. It's hard to do. You want to throw it as fast as you can. You want to be able to do that kind of stuff. You want to be able to drive the football or drive the golf ball as far as you can every single time you put a driver in your hand. But most of the time, your golf game's a lot better when you slow it down, when you relax, and when you actually allow your fundamentals to do the work. And I think that's where McCarthy is right now.
No, I agree. The fundamentals are inconsistent for sure. And something I noticed too, just that the numbers kind of told me here, was that there's a big difference. Because I'm going through this game in sequence, and I go, man, when he throws over the middle, he looks fine, right? He looks just fine. In this game, over that middle third of the field, let me cut it into 3 18-yard portions here, okay? Over the middle third of the field in this game, he's got a 91.4 passing grade. He's drilling throws that are right in front of him. And the more I look at this, then I go, he's missing all these throws on the outside. In this game, he was 9 for 20 on throws outside of that area. Okay, so take that middle third out and start getting out towards the numbers. 9 for 20 with a 38 passing grade. Look at it for the season. Over that middle third of the field, 90 passing grade. That's a perfect elite passer. I'm in, right? Outside of that, a 51 passing grade. What I see mechanically and why it's so inconsistent, his front side, when he has to make outside throws, it doesn't get there. It never gets there. So if you're throwing to your left and you're too closed off, then you're trying to drag that front foot, that lead foot over, and you over rotate. If you're on the right and you're not closed off enough and you don't get your back foot set to make those throws out to your right, then you're too open. Then things get away from you, right?
Yep.
It's just he needs to work, and this is going to end up being an off-season project. These are things you have to fix in the off-season,
right. It's not going to get fixed.
To me, when he's making outside throws right now, his front side is not getting where it needs to be, right? When you make throws over the middle, you're already in your drop. That's where you are naturally.
Right.
You're squared up to safeties.
Yep.
That's where it's going to, and that's why he's got an elite passing grade over the middle of the field. That's the part to me that he's going to have to work on. Get in the offseason. I know we still have 7 weeks to go, but get in the offseason. He's got to work on his front side. It's something that Tom Brady used to do every offseason. Joe Burrow, I would say, is arguably the best at it. Josh Allen's gotten a lot better at it, right? Those guys with great mechanics, they have great mechanics to every area of the field, but your front side has to be aligned. That's what I see there. When I was going through this game, I go, every throw he's missing is to the outside. Mm-hmm. It's everything towards the numbers and out.
Yep.
And that's why. It's because if your front side, if you're either over rotating or if you're leaving your front side too open at that point on the right, it's just not going to drive the way to get there. Like you mentioned, it's got to be consistent. If you watch him make throws around the hash marks, it looks good. It looks really good because it's right in front of him and everything's aligned. When he has to make throws outside, it's just not.
Yeah. No, that's how I feel about him, and it's interesting that you bring all that up because two areas that I really like to put college draft prospect quarterbacks in, because I think that it means a lot, is who are you when you're throwing over the intermediate middle of the field, right, 10 to 19 yards down the field, and then who are you on third and long? Like, those are two areas that I like to put every single quarterback in, and then, for other ones, it kind of gets a little bit more contextual based on what I think they do well versus what they don't do well. But I like to put everybody at least in those two categories because I think they mean a lot. I remember J.J. McCarthy graded really well in, I think, both of those areas, and it makes sense that in the NFL, we're still seeing that. But then it's the outside, the number stuff that he definitely still needs to work on.
And if you want a young guy, I know I named some elite guys before Brady and Burrow and guys. If you want a young guy who fixed this in one offseason with a new offense, I'm not saying McCarthy needs a new, but I'm saying just this guy got a new OC and really fixed some things on those outside throws. Another intermediate middle of the field guy I know you love, Drake May. Go watch the difference between, if you had concerns about Drake May throwing to the outside, not because of arm strength, but because of accuracy, watch him throw this year. He's been an elite thrower outside the numbers, and that's because his mechanics are cleaner than ever, and that front side gets anywhere he needs to go.
Yep.
That's a great example. Whatever Drake May is doing, that's some tape that I would put on for J.J. McCarthy and go, hey, this is just what it needs to look like. Calm down, stay within yourself, and you can make these outside throws.
It's a good shout. Most impressive, I love the Bears tight end passing game in this one, really, because I think it's a representation of the Bears offense sort of arriving. Now, that's not to say that it's going to be perfect every week and that it hits the ceiling, but to me, I think the challenge when you have all of these passing weapons, especially for a young quarterback, is getting him confident with all of them, right? Because instead, then we just look on, when it's not going well, we just look at things on paper and we go, well, hold on. You got Rome Odunze, you got DJ Moore, you have Luther Burden, you got Cole Kmet, you've got Colson Loveland. Like, you have all of these guys. How are you not throwing to all of them? And the fact of the matter is, Caleb has to get confident with all of these players. And that takes reps. That takes time. And now I feel like he is. So it's a little bit like what we've kind of seen with the Bills, where you know how the Bills have like so many different guys that they could throw to, and like Josh, it feels like, has the ability to hit any of these guys at any time. Now, again, not saying it's perfect every single week, but that's where I feel like the Bears are arriving to, is that if it needs to be a game plan where Ben Johnson goes, hey, we're going to be heavy on the tight ends today. Caleb goes, all right, I trust those guys. I can do it. Or if he goes, hey, big day to hit some deep shots to Luther Burden, he'll go, all right, I've hit that a couple of times this season. I trust Luther. And so now we're just getting to the point where I think Caleb trusts the whole of what is this passing offense. And now I think we're getting to see that week in and week out, it could be anybody. But that also might mean that it's a recipe for success.
And you know what he trusts as importantly as anybody that they didn't have last year? He trusts Ben Johnson to guide him through that and go, okay,
Fair.
There are moments like the Bengals game and we're in a shootout, and Caleb, you got to carry us, man. This one's on you. And there's moments like this where we got a tough defensive game and Ben's just going to tell him, look, we're trying to get to the run game. I need you to not take chances. I need you to not turn the football over. We can make this happen. And he did exactly that, right? And to your point about the tight ends, the Bears running the 5th highest rate of 12 personnel. That's Ben Johnson's offense, right? Mm-hmm. Caleb is trusting the offensive scheme and his play caller as much as he is the rest of those guys, and that's all coming together naturally. And we figured that would be a process. Ben Johnson said that would be a process. He said it right to our faces in the preseason that, hey, this is going to take time, and he's doing things he's never done before. But the fact that they're in this part of the process and they're just starting to get comfortable and they're 7-3, That's big time. I mean, you have to credit. We were joking about the close games and all that, but that to me is a display of your head coach guiding a really young team with a really young quarterback through that. I mean, so you sit there now and you go, boy, the Bears could win this division because they understand how to get through these. Ben Johnson understands how to get his team through these clutch situations. And you're getting the buy-in from your quarterback. It's coming. It's not going to look super flashy every week like it did against Cincinnati, but these are the types of wins that make Caleb better as much as anything. These hard-fought, fist-fight type of wins where you just got to make enough plays to get through them because that's most games in the NFL.
Yep, I agree. I agree with you.